Captain Randhawa, you know, if a safety lock fails twice, is this still about human error or about the machine? Isn't the DGCA here blaming the pilot? Pilots are trained for emergencies, but they're meant to compensate for mechanical safeguard that fails repeatedly. Twice, the fail switch moved to the cutoff position.
Kabir, you have covered everything in detail and absolutely correctly. Now, first and foremost thing, let me tell you, I am an examiner on the 777 aircraft, and I was one of the first persons to be converted onto Boeing 787. And this was before the induction. And I will tell you one thing in the fuel control switch, which is very, very evident. It's fitted on the 737 MAX also. The switch is spring-loaded. Now, when you pull the switch, you cannot, firstly, from the cutoff position, I can't move it to run or run to cutoff until unless I pull the switch. It's spring-loaded. So I have to pull the switch out and then put it up. And when I put it up, I release it, it will latch.
Okay.
Even if I use the hammer, it will not come to cutoff. So it is so well designed. It is designed by Honeywell. Honeywell is the supplier of the switches, and the life of these switches is 20,000 hours, and it's barely done 3,400 hours on this aircraft, which is about 20% of the time. So there is no reason for the switch to fail. Now, for the pilot having inadvertently moved the switch, I do not agree with that concept at all. The switch was not latching and it was dropping to cutoff. Only thing is that the Boeing has issued an advisory circular in July 25 after the Air India 171 crash, in which it laid the guidelines in case there is a malfunction found or an inadvertent movement of the fuel control switches.
Right.
Which it says that for the pilot awareness, it says that if there is an uncommanded movement or there is looseness, any phase of the flight, and before the next sector, the flight is not to be operated. That means at London, I don't know what are the pressures on the captain, because in Air India or Indigo, any of these airlines, there are too much of pressures on the pilot or the flight engineer. They sack them for any reason, which they are not doing the line of the airline. So maybe under the pressure, the pilot has taken the aircraft to Bangalore. But if you go by the circular says this should have been actually recorded over there.
You're absolutely right. If I was on that flight, I would have made sure to move the court against the airline.
Yes. The fault is of the airline. The aircraft should have been grounded at Heathrow and investigated. You now, after completing the flight, what is the question of grounding the aircraft now? You have played around with 240 lives.
Well, all's well that ends well, Captain Randhawa. I'm glad that, all on board that AI-132 has safely landed in Bengaluru.